I've been called a buckle bunny multiple times in my life. I got my own truck, got my own money, honey. I don't need you. What's up, MTV? This is your favorite buckle bunny, Tanner Adell. I got a bad case of the whiskey blues. I got a bad case of the whiskey blues. They say 3 chords and the truth is country music. And that's like so true. So a lot of the songs I started learning were country songs and how to play the guitar. And actually, funnily enough, one of those songs was Blackbird, which now I'm on with Beyoncé, which was very cool. I've always felt this way about country music, and it started with guitar, really. Sometimes maybe I felt like I couldn't do it. I didn't have representation to show me that as a little girl that I could do it. I always was listening to all different kinds of artists. I love Britney Spears and Beyoncé, but I also love Josh Turner and Trisha Yearwood, so it doesn't surprise me that I've landed in this little area of country-influenced pop music, and I'm just really being myself when I write these songs. That behind the scenes, but this look, it ain't cheap. And when you see me in the streets, you wish your country like me. But in 2020, I intentionally wrote a country song, and no one's even heard it. It's not anything I've ever put out on social media. I sent it to my best friend. Shout out Holden, my bestie. He said, "Should you be doing country music?" And I was like, me? No, we couldn't do that. And the more people that I sent it to, the more people were like, you should kind of take this seriously. And it wasn't too long after that that I got a call from an old friend that said, "Have you come out here and written in Nashville ever?" I'd never been. Just in my heart immediately, I knew that's where I was supposed to be, and country music was it for me. Last year, I had a music video for Luke Combs, which is a song that's more about me as a little girl not seeing representation in country music. I obviously loved country music. I loved Luke Bryan, you know, my heart. He was also kind of a sexual awakening. Can I say that on here? Keith Urban and Luke Bryan, big sexual awakening. For me, when I listen to music, it's like a movie in my head. And Luke Combs, when he came onto the scene, his music gave me such a beautiful visual. But every time he's singing, my country heart still wants to be the girl in a Luke Combs song. In this video, you know, had a lot of ideas. I'm a Renaissance girl. And I thought it would be really cool at the time with Beyoncé's Renaissance to truly do a portrait in more of an oil painting Renaissance type portrait of someone who you wouldn't necessarily see in that form of art. I just wanted to do something that connected both sides of me, which was Beyoncé and Luke Combs. I think many people have tried to put me in a box, and I think the sound that I've created is very unique, and I'm kind of the only one in this lane of this genre that I've just created for myself. It really is just Tanner Adell. I'm moving into a little bit of a new era here where I'm showing more vulnerability. You know, Whiskey Blues is about going through a really hard breakup, and I didn't want to write that in the generic sad girl kind of done a million times way. I wanted to do it in something that felt upbeat, that could be screamed in your car, but if I played it for you on, you know, guitar acoustic or a acoustic piano, it would be hard for me to get through without getting emotional. It's a song about using the wrong coping methods sometimes and not making exactly the right choices, but it's a song that was part of my healing process. And from what I've seen online, it's a part of a lot of other people's healing processes now as well. Whiskey Blues is not the follow-up to Love You a Little Bit. Whiskey Blues is almost like the prelude to In the Name of Whiskey, which is a deep cut. And if you know, you know. In the name of whiskey, the roles are reversed. You are out at the bar and you're not doing this in the name of love, you're doing it in the name of whiskey. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Light turned green, then it started sinking in. I kinda might sorta like love you a little bit.
So Love You a Little Bit was the story of me really falling in love for the first time after a horrific breakup. I am not good at saying I love you, and especially in times where it really matters. Love You a Little Bit is a fully true story. We, I will say, would go to Norm's Diner in LA and order half the menu and just basically have a mukbang. It was like our thing, and I loved doing that. On the way back from Norm's, I don't know if it was actually a long red light, but it felt like a long red light. He starts saying things that are like, you know, this has just been like a really amazing couple months. Like, I love seeing kind of where you grew up, and you're just an amazing person. And I was like, oh no, this is it. This is it. And now it's time for me to respond, and I'm like, yeah, like you too. And I was like, you know, I kind of might like sort of like love you a little bit. And he was like, yeah, like I like love you too a little bit. And I told that story, and my co-writers were like, well, I think that's it. I kind of might sort of like love you a little bit, and Love You a Little Bit was born, and it was that easy.
I'm a buckle bunny, drive my own truck, got my own money, bang with the talk, so I talk funny.
So a lot of people have the question, what is a buckle bunny? That depends on who you're getting your definition from. For me, I've made it into an empowering statement. A buckle bunny in, I'm gonna say, olden times, because if you're still thinking that way, like, time to get with the program, because it's 2024. If I say I'm a bad bitch, that does not mean anything negative. I call my girls my hoes. Like, that was also a word that maybe wasn't a nice word, could have been used as a derogatory term. And buckle bunny is very similar. It's just a word that was used for a country bumpkin hoe, is like what I'd say. Or someone who shows up to a rodeo all dressed to the nines, they call them a buckle bunny, because it's like, oh, you're gonna go and try and sleep with the winning cowboy, because they get a big old buckle for being literally the best. And it's just a way to tear women down and make them feel less of themselves. And so I wanted to change that. I have been following Natalia for quite some time, and was so excited when we were able to get together and design my dress for my first red carpet. A lot of people realize by now I am a big fashion girly. I don't really have a stylist. Sometimes I'm sewing my own stuff or creating my own outfits, bedazzling my own things. For the CMTs, I was really excited to partner with Natalia Fedner for my dress, who I've loved her stuff for such a long time, and we created my signature halter. I wear a lot of halter tops. I love the 60s, I love Cher. The Bantu knots were a personal decision. I was not told to do that. I was not asked to do that. That was something that I felt like, if you know, you know, and the people who needed to see it and understand, it was a silent hello to them. Something I haven't shared yet was, if you look at them, you can see a little string hanging off the front knot, and there's a little bead on it that I picked out that looked kind of like a seed. I have Bantu and Togo, about 10% in my heritage, and the seed was to represent the seeds that were hidden in braids and hairstyles by my ancestors as they were creating pathways to get to safety so that they could start agriculture in those areas and begin their new lives. So it was very meaningful to me, and the hair said everything I needed to say without saying anything at all. I'm a CMT Next Women of Country in 2024. Country music is an amazing platform for anything you want to write, but especially love. You can say everything you want to, and that's the beautiful thing about country music, is it's real stories and real people telling their stories. That's why I chose it. I have a lot to say. I have a big story, and we're getting there. Having a healthy amount of hunger to compete is very important in the entertainment industry, period. Beyoncé is an athlete. Have you seen this woman on stage? You have to be competitive to want to excel to a level like that, just like an athlete. You gotta train for it, just like an athlete trains for the Super Bowl. I don't wanna name names in the female pop world, but if you know what's going on, especially with female rappers, it's a very small niche and it's hard to be at the top of that. How are you supposed to get better if you don't have someone that's pushing you to say, well, okay, well, she did that. Okay, well, now I want that. Now I gotta do that. There are a lot of artists that have inspired me, and it's not dirty, it's not a cheap competition. It's motivation and keeping you on lock with your goals. I'm very competitive. As an independent artist, I must say, release your music. There are so many people on this planet, and you will find the people that want to listen to you. Manifesting what you want goes a very long way. It can be hard sometimes, but don't let the fear of playing make you stay out of the game. Go stream Whiskey Blues. Whiskey Blues is out. Go cry or scream or, I don't know, teepee your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend's lawn, you know. Go do something fun. Go to a rage room. Go do something healthily destructive today.